Sam, you are the best of the best!
Welcome Platinum Hunter to PTR. Strap your BP tight and tread carefully through BT territory, because this week we are embarking on an epic delivery across Australia. In this week's Platinum Trophy, Death Stranding 2 on the beach. But what is Death Stranding 2 on the beach? Well, it is a 2025 action-adventure game written, produced, designed and directed by Hideo Kojima, developed by Kojima Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It is a sequel to Death Stranding and is the second game from Kojima Productions as an independent entity, as well as the studio's second collaboration with Sony. Death Stranding 2 on the beach is set primarily in Australia, 11 months after the events of the first game, in a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by otherworldly creatures. The player controls Sam Porter Bridges, a freelance porter, as he and his companions set out on an expedition across the Australian continent to connect isolated survivors and colonies to the wireless communications chiral network in order to save humanity from extinction. The game has a total of 55 trophies. From the get-go, let me warn you that this platinum will be over 100 hours and the post-game will be a lot of busy work, and thanks largely to the trophy connecting hearts and minds. Your mission, Porter, is clear. To claim this platinum, you'll need to earn the trust of all 42 facilities scattered across Mexico and Australia by raising them to a 5-star connection. The path to doing so is through your deliveries. Every order carried from one facility to another strengthens the bond. Along your route, you'll often encounter lost cargo. Recovering and delivering it alongside your standard orders will greatly boost the likes you receive, allowing those stars to fill much faster. Keep your eyes sharp at delivery terminals as well. Under share cargo with other porters, you'll often find abandoned packages waiting to be carried to the final mile. But tread carefully. Rolling up with trucks full of cargo won't let you max out a facility in one go. No matter how much you bring, the most you can gain in a single handoff is 1 star and 3/4. Once a star is completed, the facility's overseer will greet you, offering weapons, upgrades or patches as tokens of appreciation. And remember this, when handing in large orders, any excess likes won't vanish. They'll be stored, waiting for your next delivery. The smart move: always hold back a single piece of cargo, then hand it in separately to instantly claim those banked likes and keep your journey efficient. Just a heads up, the final facility you'll be able to connect is Mr. Impossible. His lost cargo only becomes available once you've linked up every other facility to the chiral network. On top of that, his lost cargo is extremely rare, but luckily there are 3 potential spawn points near his location, which I will point out on the map. One more tip for post-game porters: always carry a sticky gun. A lot of rare cargo ends up in hard to reach spots, and having one on hand can save you a ton of frustration. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later. Every star, every delivery, every connection, it all brings you one step closer to the platinum. Another trophy that will test your endurance is Seasoned Porter. To unlock it, you need to complete 10 deliveries, 10 recoveries and 10 eliminations, all with an S rank on casual difficulty or higher. This is the only trophy in-game tied to difficulty. Tracking your progress won't be easy, as the game doesn't provide a clear counter for how many of each you've completed. From my experience, it's usually the eliminations that end up being the last hurdle. Keep in mind that repeating the same missions won't count. You will need to complete 10 unique orders in each category. When you're hunting down specific missions, the Orders tab becomes your best ally. Here you can filter and find exactly what you need, whether that's a delivery, a recovery, or an elimination. This tool is especially valuable in the post-game when you're trying to tie up loose ends and push those final facilities to 5 stars. Stay focused, plan your routes, and approach each order with care, because a true seasoned porter never cuts corners. Next up is the Master Builder Trophy. At first glance, it seems straightforward. Construct every type of structure, including tools, deployable shields, electric traps, and even a sign. But there is a catch. 2 of the structures, the bridge and the safe house, don't count until they are fully built. Placing the foundation isn't enough. You will need to gather the required materials and complete the constructions before they register. And it's not just about fabricating tools either. Simply making them won't unlock progress. You will actually need to deploy and use them in the field. From barriers to traps, every piece of equipment has to serve its purpose. Thankfully, you can track your progress in the menu, where each structure and tool you've used is logged. Keep an eye out on this to make sure nothing slips through the cracks. However, when digging a hot spring, which is needed for a trophy, this is not logged unfortunately, but I'll touch on this later. So plan ahead, stock up on resources, and get building. A true porter leaves no structure incomplete. Speaking of construction, 2 trophies tied directly into rebuilding infrastructure, one for completing a single section of road and another for fully restoring a monorail line. Both of these take place in Australia. There are 3 monorail lines that span the continent, and fully connecting any one of them will unlock the trophy. While the monorail offers another method of transportation, I find myself rarely, if never, relying on it. Instead, I strongly recommend investing time into restoring the road network. By the late game, and especially post-game, you'll come to appreciate the difference. The roads are designed to border areas by bandits, making them invaluable for safe, efficient travel. You don't need to rebuild the entire network, but restoring around 80% of it will help tremendously. In fact, it becomes essential when fulfilling one prepper's obligatory order required to raise their facility to 5 stars, but we'll save that for later. With that wrapped up, let's take a moment to quickly go over some of the other trophies worth keeping in mind along the journey. They might not demand as much attention, but staying aware of them will save you trouble later. Rare Specimen Rescuer. Deliver an albino animal to the animal shelter. Albino animals are scattered across the map, but one reliable spawn is in the desert near the data scientist. Secure it and deliver it to the shelter to unlock the trophy. Emergency Worker. Deliver emergency support for the first time. The wording is deceptive. This really means repairing structures that have started to wear down. On your map, look for icons with a yellow hammer. Most repairs only need chiral crystals. In short, repair any structure and the trophy will pop. Spring into life. Dig a hot spring for the first time. This one takes a bit of setup. In front of the motherhood, you'll find a spring you can bathe in. Stay in it for a while and eventually a bucket will float over. Put it on your head and you'll be teleported to Hartman's lab. There, his partner will explain the process of creating a spring. Head into the mountains between Hartman's lab and the Dowers to find a spot where you can dig one. Once it's built, rest until nightfall, use the spring, then hold L1 to gaze at the stars. From here, you can try to spot a constellation, which also ties into unlocking the trophy written in the stars. Porters make the world go round. Barter with another porter. After connecting a few preppers to the chiral network, you'll start to see wandering porters near their facilities. Approach one and he will usually offer some cargo. Accept it and then place down a tool or weapon as an offering. Once the porter picks it up, the trophy will unlock. A private show. Watch a live performance in your private room. Once you've met the musician in episode 3, you will gain access to his songs, which can be played either in your private room or while out on deliveries. To unlock the trophy, head into your room, play the track Horizon Dreamer, then keep speaking to Dolman. Eventually he'll ask you if you have a moment to spare. Choose just a quick one and sit back and enjoy the show. Conqueror of the Golden CC. Defeat the Golden Kyle creature. Over time, you'll encounter small tar-like creatures, often moving in swarms across the ground or in the air. At night, a larger golden variant can appear. Be careful, they're easily startled if you get too close. One of the best hunting spots is near the animal shelter, where swarms frequently spawn, making it a reliable place to find and defeat the golden one. The scars left by the giants arrive at the BT Nexus in the F3 crater, and can be tricky to access. You will need to either build a bridge or make use of a coffin board to get there. Coffin boards are fast but handle terribly, and they only work in areas already connected to the chiral network, so plan your route accordingly. To wrap things up, let's talk about the obligatory standard or sub-orders that several facilities require before you can finally reach 5 stars with them. These usually unlock once you're around 4 3/4 stars, and as I said earlier, simply delivering more cargo won't do the trick. You have to complete these orders. The facilities tied to these mandatory missions are the Fisherman, the Ghost Hunter, the Adventurer, Terminal Fort Knot, and of course, Mr. Impossible. You can tackle them in any order, though I strongly recommend leaving Mr. Impossible for last. The Fisherman. His final order has you facing the Lord of the Tar Lake, a massive post-game boss fight. To bait him out, you will first need to track down and capture a mini-boss using the X-Capture grenade. Think Pokemon, but with goo monsters. Once captured, release it in the Tar Lake to lure out the Lord. Prepare yourself, it's one of the more epic battles in the game. The Ghost Hunter. He's got multiple obligatory orders. One of them is solving the riddle of the Headless Riders. To complete this, head to the designated area at night armed with a tri-cruiser and machine gun. Later, there's another trophy. Reveal the truth about the Ghost Hunter. No spoilers here, but just know this is post-game content. After finishing the main story, you will gain the ability to switch the chiral network on and off. Switch it off, then pay him a visit. The Adventurer, easily the most annoying of the bunch. He constantly gets himself stranded, sometimes in BT infested zones, other times in hard to reach places. His final rescue takes place in a BT area crawling with the balloon-like creatures. Eventually a massive one spawns. Let it consume you and you'll be transported to another area where you will need to fight 2 mini-bosses. Defeat them, return to the shore, and let Chunky Balloon Boy swallow you again to finish the ordeal. Terminal Fort Knot. Their final order is a showdown with a giant BT. For this, as well as all the previous fights, your best weapon is the LW multi-rocket launcher. You unlock it from the Phantom Smith once you reach 4 stars with him. It's a powerful, lightweight and compact, meaning you can carry multiple without issue. Trust me, it will make these fights a lot more manageable. And Mr. Impossible. The final challenge is a fitting name, the Impossible Mission. It tasks you with collecting 7 pieces of rare cargo in under 50 minutes, one located in each of the 7 bandit camps across the map. Step 1. Make sure you've got the road system restored. It's crucial for speed. Step 2. Bring an off-roader since the cargo is heavy. Step 3. Clear the camps before accepting the order. The cargo is hazardous and stray bullets can ruin your run. By wiping them out first, you can simply drive in, pick up the cargo and move on. Once all 7 pieces are secured, use the DHV Magellan to fast travel to the fort nearest Mr. Impossible. From there, just drive up and hand it in. Done right, you'll have around 15 minutes to spare. One last note. Using the Magellan for deliveries normally costs you likes, but this doesn't matter here. Completing this order will 5-star Mr. Impossible, and if you've planned everything correctly, unlock your Platinum Trophy in one truly epic delivery. I have a video of where I streamed all of this if you're interested, so shameless plug here.
Hello there.
After all the walkabout around Australia, you should be the proud owner of an ultra-rare 3.5% Platinum Trophy. But is braving the timefall and holding your breath around BTs really worth this platinum? If you enjoyed the first Death Stranding, you're going to feel right at home here. The story might not be Oscar worthy, but it is intriguing enough, and the world Kojima has built is beautiful in its bleakness. The true stars, though, are the quirky characters you meet along the way. They're weird, they're very on the nose, but slowly you start to grow attached to them. Higgs returns as the main antagonist, voiced once again by Troy Baker. His performance is top tier, but I wasn't a huge fan of his new design. The original look from the first game was iconic and didn't need changing, though this one is definitely very Kojima. I did enjoy the little Metal Gear Solid references sprinkled throughout, especially in the final showdown with him. Of course, Kojima's trademark style is here in full force. The strangeness, the eccentricity, the mix of the profound and the absurd. If you don't like that, this game isn't going to change your mind, but for those who do, the sequel adds some great quality of life improvements. Fast travel is a blessing with a map this huge. Weapons can now be attached to your vehicle, and tools like the sticky gun can make cargo collection far less tedious. Even BTs aren't as frustrating as before, since you're equipped to handle them from the start. When it comes to the trophy list, it's a solid mix. There are unique challenges, fun surprises, and some generally memorable post-game boss fights. The Fisherman's Lord of the Tar Lake encounter, in particular, stands out as an epic highlight. And I'll admit, discovering the truth about the pizza chef was one of those Kojima-esque payoffs that made me smile. The platinum here isn't a sprint, it's a journey, one that makes you explore every corner of the world. The patches you earn for 5-starring preppers feel like badges of honor, and unlocking them is rewarding. However, and this is where things fall apart, the post-game turns into 20 to 30 hours of sheer busywork, delivering cargo over and over, grinding out likes for preppers who level up at a snail's pace, while others are done in just a few deliveries. The inconsistency is frustrating, and when you're stuck repeating old orders that barely move the needle, it starts to feel less like an adventure and more like a second job. Lost cargo helps ease that grind, but it doesn't fix the pacing problem. If the game had cut out the last chunk of grind, this platinum could have been truly legendary, especially if capped off with Mr. Impossible's insane final challenge. Instead, all the goodwill it builds gets smothered by a tedious wall of repetition at the end. In conclusion, Death Stranding 2 is a game full of unique ideas, memorable characters, and some amazing platinum moments, but its bloated post-game grind stops it from being an all-time great. If Kojima had streamlined those final hours, this could have been one of the most epic platinum journeys out there. Instead, it sometimes feels less like connecting the world and more like working a 9 to 5 at Amazon.
Okay, time to head home.
Death Stranding 2's Platinum Trophy is a 7 out of 10. It's a journey full of unique moments, clever Kojima's quirks, and some truly epic fights, but it loses points for the bloated post-game grind that drags the experience down. Worth it for the fans, but patience is required. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching. My name is PTR. I've got more videos on my channel like this, so please check that out and keep on keeping on.